This video needs 1,000 likes. This needs to be my biggest video. This literally needs to be my biggest video because this information, the way he just put together this information, it's without a shadow of a doubt that this is what's going on, y'all. This man was running an AI baby farm.
Money grows, peace can grow, money stay grow, only money grows.
What's up, YouTube fam? It's your man King Marcel, and we back with another video. The Epstein files is just becoming more and more fantastical as the days go on, and we find out exactly the extent of what he was doing. And literally, it's like the plot to Spy Kids. This man allegedly had a AI baby farm. It's like this man's hand has reached into so many different fields, so many different territories. It's outrageous, from trafficking to Star Wars at this point. It's like he is the connection between every conspiracy theory known to man. He lived these things, and it's like it's all literally coming out. But yeah, that's what this video is about to be about, y'all. Is about Epstein potentially having an AI baby farm. So let's get into this. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell so that you're notified whenever I do drop a video here. We're on the road to 500 subscribers, so make sure you guys are subbing up and joining the kingdom. But let's see what he got going on.
For the past 2 weeks, there have been some major updates to the files.
Yeah.
It's actually starting to get crazy. People were telling me that I have to make a video on this, and while I typically stray away from recent events, something just told me that I should look into this. Now I realize why. This may be the biggest video I've ever made. I just spent the last week developing a research tool that would allow me to search with my own terms through 44,000 of those documents. But I took a completely different approach. I wasn't looking for names or occult terms. I was looking for what he was building. And what I found changes the entire story. Tucker Carlson had Ian Carroll on his show this week to go through the Epstein files. 2 hours. They covered the trafficking, they covered the intelligence connections, they covered the financial web, and then Tucker said something that stopped me.
I suspect that the DOJ was not very interested in making them very accessible, as noted by them not giving us zip downloads to even download them with this time. So trying to make them more accessible.
Can I suggest a thread, for a younger, more energetic man to follow up on?
Absolutely.
And that's Epstein's fixation on genetics and biotechnology.
Ooh, yeah.
And it's very clear to me, well, much is not clear to me at all, and I don't understand this category very well. I'm not a scientist or geneticist, but I have noticed, not just with Epstein, but with a bunch of people in Epstein's orbit, there is a fixation on genetics and changing genetics and improving people and cloning and on really
eugenics.
Kind of tampering with the material of life in a way that someone who believed he was God would, or someone who's involved in the supernatural would. I mean, there's really heavy stuff here, and that really, really matters. And I have not seen anybody go into that in a methodical way.
He's right.
Yeah.
Nobody
has. It's because people are scared to. I know he's about to, but that's what I've been doing on this channel, is telling y'all what exactly is going on, exactly what he's doing. But for some reason, people want to keep it as, oh no, some of these things got to be outlandish. I don't think it's a piece of information that is in these files that is false. It could be, hey, these millions of files, but do y'all think that majority of these millions of files is just conjecture? It's just speculation. Some of these documents go back decades. But people want to keep it on this surface level of thinking. Literally, on my last video, some guys trying to say that the conspiracy theories are just too outlandish to believe. without doing any research. Because you can't be doing any research, because if you just did the smallest amount of research, you will see that it is a lot of validity of what is being talked about, what is being discovered. But if you want to keep having your hands over your eyes and then trying to say people like me are crazy for pointing out the obvious, the things that you should be looking into, then it's like, bro, you seeming like you an agent in the Matrix. You one of the people who can instantly turn into an agent because you are just an empty vessel for them to use to combat people like me. The people who are trying to expose what's going on. And it's like, come on, either get out the way or, man, do something, carry on. But it's like, stop
Here's
with
the
that
story
nonsense.
everyone has. Epstein told scientists he wanted to see the human race with his DNA. He had a ranch in New Mexico where the plan was to impregnate 20 women at a time. George Church, Harvard's top CRISPR gene editing pioneer, had regular documented meetings with him. A victim wrote in her own words, quote, "I'm not your personal incubator."
Like, what are we talking about?
We believe
this is something somebody told to him.
30 23andMe DNA kits were shipped to Dubai for a Middle Eastern royal. And that's where every outlet stopped. The victim diary got picked up by the tabloids. The 23andMe kits got a couple paragraphs in SFgate.
And that's it.
And then everyone moved on to the next celebrity name. Everyone is asking who was in Epstein's circle, but nobody's asking what he was building.
Literally.
When you read these documents, the actual EFTA files, not the headlines, a pattern emerges. Shell companies declaring DNA analysis as their business activity. $50,000 wired to an artificial intelligence institute. A male fertility specialist getting haircuts at the residence. Then there are these meetings called designer babies, 6 days before meetings with the egg people. A woman flown from
and with the designer baby things, when I say this, you know what I'm saying, this is all alleged. But the Island Boys, it was rumors that came out about the Island Boys that they was really from Epstein Island. And that's why their name was the Island Boys, is that they were clones. That they are damn near clones from Epstein's DNA and then put in front of us as a designer baby. Showing high ranking people, you know what I'm saying, rich people that, hey, look at these designer babies that we got out here and we made them famous and stuff, and you can have you one too. It's mind-blowing. It sounds far-fetched, I know. But the evidence is clear that, man, this stuff most likely was happening. It's rumors about the reason why Bernie Mac really passed away is that he was taken to a clone facility and he wasn't rocking with it. That is a rumor that's been out since his death. That he was going to expose things and then they got rid of him. Look into that if you think I'm lying and I'm just making it up. Like, come on.
Manchester, England, and referred to a fertility clinic. This seems to be an operation. Infrastructure, funding, scientists, and victims who knew. So let's just go through the documents. This is a Deutsche Bank Know Your Customer form for a company called Southern Trust Company Incorporated, registered in the U.S. Virgin Islands, sole owner and president, Jeffrey E. Epstein. DNA analysis. That's what Epstein told his bank that his company does. Expected quarterly revenue, $12.5 million. Annual income, $10 million. So, I went looking for what Southern Trust actually did. Nothing. No lab, no research, no scientist on payroll. The actual operations were pure investment management. Venezuelan government bonds, derivatives, Epstein's personal salary. The company was originally called Financial Informatics Incorporated. DNA analysis was a fiction, a qualifying business activity for USVI tax incentives. Now follow the money.
Right.
The Cook Foundation, that's one of Epstein's nonprofits. wires $50,000 to the Singularity Institute for Artificial Intelligence. That's now called MIRI, the organization dedicated to building artificial general intelligence. EFTA 01500847. Nobody has ever reported this wire. 20,000 to the Worldwide Transhumanist Association. 100,000 to Ben Goertzel, one of the leading AGI researchers on the planet. A 200,000 invoice for Joseph Thackeray, a researcher George Church introduced to Epstein who was editing his own stem cells with CRISPR. $6.5 million to Harvard's program for evolutionary dynamics. Genetics, artificial intelligence, transhumanism, life extension, CRISPR gene editing. He funded all of it. And that's just the science side.
So should we trust any of it? How they trying to use AI to take over everything, when we are finding out that Epstein was heavily in the inception of AI. It's damn near his think child, his brain child. Why would we use this for our futures? Like, come on, think.
So I kept digging. A master transaction ledger. 21 transactions from 2013 through 2018. Leon Black, the head of Apollo Management, one of the largest private equity funds on Earth, sends over $120 million through Epstein's Southern Trust Company. That money routes to Edmund de Rothschild Bank in Geneva. $10 million goes directly to Benjamin Edmund de Rothschild personally, and in the same ledger, Southern Trust is investing in Peter Thiel's Valor Venture Funds. Epstein was the financial intermediary routing $167 million between one of Wall Street's largest PE funds, a European private bank, and Silicon Valley's most connected venture capitalist. In his cover story for all of it, DNA analysis. Then there's this. A complete investor pitch deck from a San Francisco biotech venture capital fund called Descartes Capital, found in Epstein's seized files. The fund explicitly targets Russian oligarch money. Their portfolio is gene therapy using engineered viruses, transgenic chicken bioreactors, meaning they insert human genes into animal germ cells, cancer immunotherapy. A Princeton molecular biology professor is on the advisory board. Descartes Capital returns 0 results connected to Epstein anywhere. No news article, no Reddit thread, nothing on YouTube. And then there's BioAlibi LLC. I'm not exactly sure how it's pronounced. But essentially, Christina Galbraith previously worked for Epstein's foundation. By January 2019, she'd become the director of genetic therapies at a company called BioAlibi. It might be pronounced BioAlib, but again, I'm not sure. She published on genetic vectors, and she asked to keep using the foundation's Lexington Avenue office space. BioLab LLC returns 0 results on the open web. A genetics company that doesn't exist publicly, run by an Epstein Foundation employee working on genetic vectors out of his office? EFTA 02278036. Now this one should make you stop. In Epstein's files, there are investment research documents about Editas Medicine, a CRISPR gene editing company. Standard financial analysis. But look at what's in it. These are the only documents in 44,000 files that contain the word germline. That means editing DNA that gets passed down to future generations. Heritable genetic modification. Gene editing research about permanently modifying human embryos sitting in the seized evidence of a convicted sex trafficker.
And again, I always tell y'all, they put this stuff in the media. See, when I was younger, I was heavily into watching cartoons and anime. My favorite superhero is Batman. So when this show called Young Justice came out, I was heavily into it. But one of the plot lines for Young Justice was this, that Superboy, he was a clone of Superman, and it was all about this exact same things that they are talking about right now. Not only did they clone Superman, they kidnapped who is Hawkeye? I mean, not Hawkeye. Green Arrow's Speedy. They kidnapped Green Arrow's partner, Speedy, cut off his arm, and cloned him and had his clone in the Justice League, thinking that they thought that he was the real Speedy, until they found out that he was a clone and that he was used to infiltrate by Lex Luthor. And it's the fact, it's verbatim this. Epstein literally did this. And I always use this example to people. It's like we are living in a world full of supervillains and the superheroes are doing nothing. The superheroes are acting so stupid and so oblivious to what these evil villains are doing. To the point they put it in the media. This is literally the plot to Young Justice. I implore y'all to go watch it and y'all will know what's going on then. Because it's
Ask
this.
yourself why that was in his files.
This is
right
unreal.
now as you watch this.
This is
Your
like,
brain is being hijacked.
Man,
You think you're in control.
this is crazy.
There's a backdoor to your mind
sorry,
that
y'all.
99% of people.
One more. A file called traitsandappearance.xls. An Excel spreadsheet about human traits and physical appearance created by Curtis Marine, a researcher at Arizona State University's Institute of Human Origins, for a workshop called Human Uniqueness and Behavior Modernity. It was forwarded through the physicist Lawrence Krauss to Epstein. Then, Epstein forwarded it to Jess Staley, head of JP Morgan's investment bank. And he added a line. Your daughter is also invited too.
I'm like, what?
Okay, hold up. A spreadsheet cataloging human traits and appearance forwarded it to one of Wall Street's most powerful bankers with an invitation that included his daughter. Let's continue. If you're going to run a genetics program, you need access to a genetics lab. Epstein didn't just fund Harvard's program for evolutionary dynamics. He had his own key card.
Literally.
September 2017, Mei
Oh my
Huang,
goodness,
a
this all
PhD
makes too
staff
much
member,
sense.
emails Epstein's assistant. The card reader system at Martin Novak's Institute had been changed. She needed an address to mail Jeffrey a new access card. So they mailed it to his home, 9 East 71st Street, New York. When the system changed again, instructions were sent for how to get to the 6th floor. That means Epstein had permanent, unsupervised building access to Harvard's Genetics Research Institute.
Like, what?
And when the locks changed, staff sent him new keys. And he used that access. In the files, I found complete schedules for day-long private meetings at Harvard, back-to-back, all in one building, with some very important people. May 6th, 2018, 10:15 a.m., Martin Novak, the head of the program for evolutionary dynamics, 11:30 to 3,
Look like a reptilian.
Joy Ito and a group from MIT including Caleb Harper from Open Agriculture, 3 p.m., Yo Shabak, the AI and consciousness researcher, 4 p.m., Leonid Peshkin. Okay, so this Peshkin guy, Harvard researcher in developmental biology and single-cell genomics, embryonic development, Epstein asked for him by name. Nobody has ever reported on Leonid Peshkin's involvement. And then dinner at 6 with Larry Summers, former Treasury Secretary of the United States, at Martin Novak's Institute. Why?
Why?
5 months later, October 15th, same pattern. Novak at 11:30, then at 12:30, Kamila Naxarova, Massachusetts General Hospital, Harvard Medical School, cancer genetics, studies tumor evolution at the single-cell level. Nobody has reported on her either. 2 p.m., John de la Parra from MIT Open Agriculture. 3:30, Yo Shabak again. 5:30, snacks with Larry Summers. 7 p.m., dinner with Joy Ito. The same people. Genetics, AI, consciousness, former Treasury Secretary. One building, one day, organized by a convicted sex offender with his own key card.
Like, what?
If you're running a reproductive operation, you need a doctor. Meet Harry Fish. Harry Fish is one of America's leading urologists. His specialty is male reproductive health, sperm quality, fertility optimization, testosterone. He has 606 appearances in the Epstein documents, $2,800 in urology invoices,
You're talking about Woody
home
Allen?
visits at Epstein's residence on the same day the
Oh
calendar
my
reads
goodness
10
gracious.
Harry Fish, 11:30 Leon, 2:30 Deepak, 3:30 Woody. That's Leon Black, Deepak Chopra, Woody Allen.
What?
But Fish wasn't just his doctor. It would seem he was inner circle. They had lunch at the 2nd Avenue Deli where Fish sent him a Wall Street Journal article about female Viagra. Fish got haircuts from Epstein's personal barber at the residence. He attended a Woody Allen movie screening alongside Karina Shiliak. And for Christmas, Epstein sent him an Apple Watch. And then a reminder call in May 2019, 6 weeks before Epstein's arrest. So it would seem he was inner circle, and Fish, his specialty, is the exact thing you would need for a reproductive operation.
What is going on?
And Fish wasn't the only one. In September 2018, Epstein saw a second urologist, Darius Paduch, Cornell Medical. And Monday the 24th, he sees Fish. Wednesday the 26th, he sees Paduch. Paduch's staff asked for the reason for the visit, but Epstein's office never answered. There's a note in the files that says, "Ask Dr. Fish." That's a cross-referral between the two urologists, with Epstein's office controlling the information. A few days later, Epstein's staff is frantically chasing blood test results. October 2nd through 4th, 3 days of calls trying to get results from Paduch's office. Keep in mind that Darius Paduch has since been convicted of sexually abusing his patients, including minors. Nobody has ever connected these two stories. Epstein's reproductive...
And all of this is a coincidence. For anybody who watches this, let me know down in the comment section. You think all of this is just a coincidence? None of this has any validity to it? It's all lies, and somebody just made this all up and sent this to the DNJ. These are his actual emails. This isn't this isn't the stuff that people were trying to inform the government that Epstein was doing. No, this is from his personal email. And you think that all of these links is just conjecture? Y'all need to wake up. Y'all need to seriously wake up and smell the roses for real. And understand this is actually happening. And something has to be done. Because this is incredible.
Medicine specialist and his convicted abuser urologist seeing the same patient in the same week, cross-referring through Epstein's office. August 2018. Watch how fast this moves. August 2nd. A meeting called Designer Babies. Brian Bishop, biohacker, CRISPR advocate. The meeting uses a pre-existing video room. The URL is Taxmaster Genetics. That name already existed. That means these discussions had been happening.
Already.
3 days later, August 5th, Bishop puts the pitch in writing. The subject line is Designer Babies. And his goal, in his own words, the first live birth of a human designer baby, and possibly a human clone within 5 years. The budget was 1.7...
In 5 years. This was in 2018. So that would have placed that in 2023. They had human clones. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? And who's to say they wasn't already doing this and there was already something being made, but this is them saying that they would have the way to do it perfected in 5 years. Maybe they was having trials and errors. You know what I'm saying? Some worked, some didn't. But they knew that they would be able to do this damn near to 100% accuracy in 5 years after this. How many, and then this term NPCs came up. Y'all think it's not no NPCs walking around here? Y'all better catch on.
$1 million a year for up to 5 years, plus $1 million for a lab setup. The plan was transgenic mice first, then human volunteers.
Unreal.
And the intended outcome? The first human with transgenic sperm. And we begin taking pre-orders. Pre-orders for genetically modified humans.
For what?
Epstein's response? I have no issues with investing. The problem is only if I am seen to lead. So he wanted in, he just didn't want his name on it. And Bishop knew that. In the same thread he writes, anonymity requirements about babies. We can't publicly identify whose these are or their parents or benefactors. It would brand the child as, essentially, and sadly, a freak for life in the media.
'Cause it is!
He then offers to run the whole thing under his own project so Epstein has, his words, a sufficient level of deniability. There it is.
Plausible deniability.
By August 13th, Bishop sent a follow-up. He was already running experiments.
On mouse.
Quote, proceeding with more mouse testing at my Ukraine lab. Surgeries, microinjection.
So this is...
The lab
this was going on in Ukraine. Is that why the war started in Ukraine? Because I remember in Russia, wasn't it a truck that was full of baby embryos and chopped up body parts was filled to the brim? And they found out it was going to Ukraine? And is this why the war in Ukraine started? Because they was trying to get rid of this? When we know Vladimir Putin has come out literally saying those vampires in the West time has come? Yeah, alright. Yeah,
Oncology at Ukraine's Academy of Medical Sciences in Kiev. A real lab with real experiments. Real animals being cut open and injected with modified genetic material. This is starting to look like a cloning program.
Yes.
And a billionaire funder who wanted to stay invisible. August 8th. David Mitchell, Epstein's fixer, sends an email. Jeffrey wanted to set up a meeting with the egg people. And the staff replies, ha, egg people. August 9th, 7:30 a.m. The egg people meeting happens at 9 East 71st Street. By 11, Brad Karp is there, one of the top litigation lawyers in the country. By 1:15, lunch with Leon Black. August 20th, a woman is flown from Manchester, England to New York. September 9th, Epstein personally directs his staff. Find her a gynecologist in Manchester. September 2018, staff recommends Manchester Fertility Clinic. Okay, so 6 days between a designer babies meeting and an egg people meeting. 11 days later, a woman flown internationally and referred to a fertility clinic. Nobody has reported on the egg people term, not even a single news article.
And,
this is unreal.
We're sure this is shocking for many of you.
And I'm trying to get y'all to believe that this is real, but I know this is unreal that this actually happened. Because these are his emails. This folks, this happened. This ain't something that somebody has just come up and said about him. These are in Epstein's personal emails between these folks. These meetings happened. These things happened. These people's job titles are their job titles. And they all got together, and this is what came of it. And it sounds like a fucking sci-fi movie. And just by last year, we found out that he was damn near time traveling. Now we finding out he had a damn clone farm that was using AI. Like, come on, bro.
National.
I'm sorry. Like, what?
So CNBC just ran a piece on Epstein's Silicon Valley connections. They confirmed Anne Wojcicki, the founder of 23andMe, was connected to Epstein.
Wow.
A victim alleged that she met Wojcicki on Epstein's island. CNBC reported that and moved on. But they didn't mention this. That's Epstein's own email, misspellings and all. Rashid Epstein. A fake identity created to register a DNA kit for Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, the ruler of Dubai.
What?
His assistant, Leslie Groff, follows up. We can register a kit for you as Rashid Epstein. The kits go to JFK Terminal 4, Door 5, onto Emirates Flight 202 to Dubai. When 23andMe invalidates them for geographic restrictions, Sultan proposes a workaround. Collect the DNA in Dubai, mail the samples to New York. This seems to be a covert DNA collection operation using a fraudulent identity run through household staff for Middle Eastern royalty?
Like what?
And here's what ties it all together. March 2014, John Brockman, who runs the Edge Foundation, sends out invitations for a dinner in Vancouver. The guest list: Jeff Bezos, Sergey Brin, Bill Gates, Elon Musk, Larry Page, and the two names that matter for this story, Jeffrey Epstein and
all
Ann
the
Wojcicki.
names matter.
Ann
All
Wojcicki,
their
the
names
founder
matter.
of 23andMe, the same company whose DNA kits Epstein registered under a fake name and shipped to Dubai royalty.
Excuse me.
CNBC had access to the same documents I did. They confirmed Wojcicki was connected to Epstein, and they left all of this on the table.
Literally, like what?
Read the article. Every name gets the same treatment. Thiel, legal and legitimate purposes. Hoffman, philanthropic purposes. Gates, absolutely absurd and completely false. Brin, no comment. The article mentions zero genetics, zero DNA, zero reproductive programs.
When that was why
zero
they were
CRISPR.
together.
The words baby, fertility, and gene don't appear once.
Not once.
That's not journalism.
It's
That's
hiding.
damage control for Silicon
Literally.
Valley.
Unreal.
They wrote the version of the story that protects the people in it. Now, Bill Gates. 3 days ago, the Wall Street Journal published an article called How Epstein Inserted Himself in a Split Between Bill Gates and a Top Gates Advisor. They reported that in 2013, Epstein jumped into negotiations between Gates and his science advisor, Boris Nikolic. That Epstein wrote fake resignation letters to himself as leverage, that he dangled allegations about Gates' extramarital affairs, and that Gates himself said, quote, Jeffrey was quite helpful. Without him, it would have been harder, end quote. So what is the Wall Street Journal's angle here? While sure, they are going deep by revealing this, but it seems like their angle is Epstein was a manipulator who exploited a business split.
They trying to keep it surface level. That's what the main media is trying to do. They trying to keep all of this information so surface level. When I don't care about him cheating on his wife. I don't care about the blackmailing. I don't care about that. What the fuck were these bastards doing? That's what I want to know. Because that's what they need to be punished for. For everything that they've done. And we need to know everything that they've done. But it seems like come on. That's what I found so disturbing about this is that they releasing the pedo stuff. They're letting us know about the pedo stuff. So what are they hiding? We just found out a couple days ago that this is only 2%. 3 million files is only 2% of the actual Epstein files that the DOJ actually has. And they're just playing.
And that's true, but that's where they stopped. They never asked the obvious question. Why would a convicted sex trafficker care about a biotech fund separation? Everyone knows Gates and Epstein met, but nobody really knows why.
Why?
Look at this document. A draft separation agreement between Boris Nikolic and Bill Gates. Nikolic was Gates' science advisor, one of his closest. The agreement says they won't disparage each other, they'll keep it confidential, employment ends January 1st, 2014. But this document was sent to Jeffrey Epstein for input. A confidential employment separation between Bill Gates and his science advisor? And Epstein was the one being consulted? Why? Nikolic emailed Epstein directly about the terms. In addition to changing date to the end of January, the last point need to total change re-helping me find a job. He was negotiating his exit from Bill Gates through Jeffrey Epstein. Boris Nikolic was later named in Epstein's will as alternate executor.
Wow.
824 documents connect them in the corpus. Epstein wasn't just socially connected to Gates. He was brokering confidential employment separations for Gates' closest science advisors.
Wow.
Nikolic is the bridge figure. Everything I've shown you so far is infrastructure. Shell companies, wire transfers, meeting calendars, key cards, documents. But the files contain something else.
What else, bro?
One of the great challenges in this world is knowing enough about a subject to think you're right.
What else, bro?
This is a letter written by a victim addressed directly to Jeffrey Epstein. This is scary. Let me show you what this document is.
Oh, this is the journal. Oh my God. Oh my God. Lord, please. Yes. Lord in heaven, please help us.
Your body has never been given time to properly heal. Where is my baby? Where is Jelaine? I am not your personal incubator. She knew she was being used for reproduction and she said it directly.
Literally.
But that's actually just the surface. This is about to blow your mind. So I'm sure you've been seeing the incubator stuff in the news recently.
Yeah.
It's been covered, but they're not really explaining it. This is what they didn't tell you. This victim didn't write that letter in English. She wrote it in rail fence cipher. A rail fence cipher is a transposition code. You split your message across 2 rows, alternating letters. Top, bottom, top, bottom. To read it, you weave the rows back together. The actual page in the EFTA is not the journal. It's rows of letters that look like occult nonsense. But what I just read you, I'm not your personal incubator, where is the baby, where is Jelaine? That's what you get once you decode it. It would seem that the DOJ apparently had cryptanalysts decode it, and then they added this plain text translation to the file. But they don't clarify at all that it was a cipher. They just published the decoded letter like she wrote it normally.
Yeah.
And they left out that the cipher ends with death. See, you're missing the context. The real question is, why does a trafficking victim know how to write in cipher?
Thank you.
Why would she need to? A rail fence cipher isn't something you just pick up.
Exactly. And she was a teenager. She was a teenager when she did this. How does a teenager know to write in this code? Saying she's an incubator. I'm getting pissed the fuck off.
One most likely taught her
getting
this.
Pissed.
That's a red flag.
A
victim writing in code implies training and operation.
Yeah, manipulation.
This
to the highest
reads like
degree.
ritual abuse more than anything else.
Yes, it does.
All the ciphers were decoded. One of them mentions the blood from supposedly Leon Black. We've mentioned him several times. The other cipher is her guilt. She feels like a monster. She remembers the screams. But I was looking through the PDF and I found this page. It's like a bunch of stickers or cutouts. And there's one that says protect the vanishing. And this victim wrote children. The vanishing children? What is she talking about? What's crazy is there's a whole nother PDF, and that too has a bunch of ciphers. Now let me show you really quick, because I can't explain it all, but you just need to see it. I'm sure most of you remember when this all came out.
This shit makes my heart hurt. It does. This shit breaks my heart. And who knows how many? Oh my goodness gracious.
Here's the thing. We had zero context.
Oh my goodness.
Think about what I'm telling you right now and how this all connects. Look at these ciphers. Look at her cutouts. This is no normal victim. She describes a forced medical procedure. Quote, close your eyes, close your eyes, close your eyes. Don't speak. She doesn't talk. A shot in rod-like instruments with a hook, consistent with a D&C procedure. Apparently the doctor was from Israel. Ghislaine Maxwell was present and directing. A decision was made, but I can't tell Jeffrey. Maxwell was making reproductive decisions Epstein didn't even know about. This victim was impregnated, carried to term, and her baby was born alive. She even names Jean-Luc Brunel directly. Quote, Jean-Luc Brunel is a disgusting pig. She says she was sent back after 6 weeks. Quote, punishment for trying to run. Right there, that's the reason for the ciphers. And here's a line that ties everything together. The superior gene pool? Why me? Why my hair color and eye color? That feels very Nazi-like. Yeah. She says the piano and music comments we made to convince her this is right and will create perfect offspring. At first I thought that sounded like hypnotism, but it seems like they were trying to teach her to play the instrument. Quote, I miss the person I was before I was made into what feels as a human incubator.
Oh my God.
Okay, so this is a metaphor. She seems to be describing a eugenics program, and we've been tracing this through the documents. George Church, egg people, CRISPR, designer babies. And here's a girl saying they selected her for her hair color and eye color to create perfect offspring. She called it Nazi-like. And like I said, look at these stickers or cutouts and how the ciphers are under them. She's spelling it out for you. And look at this. Help me, please. Can't anyone find me? That's what the documents show. But let me tell you what I think it means.
Oh my God.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
We are failing these people. The more we keep talking amongst ourselves, trying to figure out if these stuff is true or not, come on, it's obvious it's true. We are failing these victims. We are failing these children. We are completely dropping the ball on this, y'all. We are dropping the ball. We can't keep doing this.
Save this one for last because it connects everything.
Literally, my heart
December
hurts
2nd,
right now.
2018. A Harvard lunch at Martin Novak's Institute. The guest, George Church, Harvard's top CRISPR pioneer. Seth Lloyd, MIT quantum computing. Martin Novak, and a woman. She had just flown in from Paris. She needed a US cell phone, and she was an American. Now look at this email. Epstein directing his staff on travel routes. Same as last time. Kyiv to Paris, Moscow to Paris, St. Petersburg to Paris, Odessa to Paris, all converging on his apartment at 22 Avenue, Foch in Paris. It would seem that apartment was the hub for the Eastern European trafficking pipeline. Women from Ukraine, Russia, Belarus, routed through Paris. Same as last time means this was a reoccurring operation with established routes. So why was a woman from that pipeline at a Harvard genetics lunch with the world's leading CRISPR researcher? Everything that I've shown you so far has been the documents. I haven't made a single claim. I haven't accused anyone of anything. What follows is what I think this means. You can disagree, you can turn off the video, but if you made it this far, I think you need to hear this. When you lay out all these documents, 3 layers emerge. Layer 1, the personal predation. This is the story everyone already knows.
Yeah.
The massages, the girls, the island.
And it's the level they just want to keep it at.
That's the version that went to trial, and that's where most people stopped.
Yeah.
Layer 2, blackmail. Cameras in every room, every bedroom, every bathroom, every property. When you have the most powerful people on earth walking through your doors, and you have footage of what they do behind the closed ones, you don't need money. You have leverage. That's the intelligence operation. Layer 3, the genetics pipeline. And this is what no one is talking about. It would seem that the trafficking wasn't just predation, it was a supply chain. The victims weren't just being exploited, they're being harvested. Eggs extracted, menstrual cycles tracked, fertility clinics arranged, babies taken. And a victim literally wrote, "I'm not your personal incubator." She's describing her function in the operation. But there's one thing that everyone is missing. Why Silicon Valley? Everyone keeps asking why Epstein was connected to tech billionaires. The answer isn't that they were donors. But what if their companies are the infrastructure? 23andMe, genetic profiles on millions of people. That's the training data. Palantir, pattern recognition across massive datasets. That's the trait selection engine. Microsoft, cloud computing and AI processing power. That's the computational backbone for processing genomic data. George Church in CRISPR, that's the editing tool. Once the AI identifies what to change, Church's lab can change it. Oil money can write checks. Only Silicon Valley owns AI, big data, and genetic databases. They're not funding the operation, they are the operation.
God damn.
Now keep in mind, this is all theoretical.
I've been telling y'all, Peter Thiel is the devil. All of them are. All of them. Mark Zuckerberg, all of these AI guys, all the Silicon Valley as a whole was created by Peter Thiel. He got every single last one of them. From Facebook to Twitter to any technology firm that has their hand in AI, you will find Peter Thiel there. It is the operation. All of this, what are they making? Satan. It's
I'm
obvious.
interpreting public documents,
It's obvious.
but the infrastructure is real. The companies are real, and the connections between them are in the files. And if this theory is correct, it doesn't stop at production. These aren't just designer babies. It monitors the human. Palantir isn't just analyzing genetic data on the front end. It's a surveillance infrastructure that tracks populations on the back end. What am I saying? It would seem that these sickos are trying to design an engineered human race that's powered and monitored by AI. Design them, produce them, monitor them, control them, all in AI. That's why I called this video AI Baby Farms. It's not just baby farms. If you follow the documents to their logical conclusion, what you're looking at isn't just a trafficking operation. It's the blueprint for an AI-monitored, engineered population. Allegedly. And remember what I told you at the beginning of the video. Epstein told scientists he wanted to see the human race with his DNA. He wanted to impregnate 20 women at a time at his ranch in New Mexico. Everyone reported that like it was just fantasy, like it was some delusion of a narcissist. But look at what I just showed you. The shell companies, the fertility doctors, the egg harvesting, the CRISPR research, the AI funding. It seems like he was describing this operation.
Bob told us that they were going to test the alien craft that night.
That is the full picture as I understand it, but that's just from 44,000 documents. Every EFTA number has been on your screen, so you can verify everything I've shown you. Now, the story doesn't end here. The documents speak for themselves, but if you want to understand why I called this video what I called it, stay here for 5 more minutes, because none of this is new.
No.
This has been happening for almost 300 years. In 1739, the Foundling Hospital opened in London, and it was funded by royalty, supported by aristocrats. And if you look at the coat of arms, there's the Diana of Ephesus, the multi-breasted ancient fertility goddess. But if you look closely, those aren't breasts, they're eggs. Right there on the official seal of a children's hospital. Why do you have occult symbolism on something that's supposed to be a charity? And what about in America? Well, there's a fraternal order that many have never heard of. They're called the Odd Fellows.
Yep.
Similar to Freemasons, but with a completely different purpose. Funded by royalty, their symbols include the all-seeing eye, the fasces, skull and bones, and they were the ones that ran the orphanages in America in the 19th century. They ran the asylums. Their founder, Thomas Wildey, was himself an orphan. Orphans grooming the next generation of orphans. And they did all of this under the name of philanthropy. Now, if you follow the channel, you already know what I'm about to show you. Yeah. But for those who don't, there are thousands of postcards from the 1890s to the 1910s that nobody talks about. They show babies being grown in cabbage patches, babies being harvested from gardens, babies arriving on trains, babies being pulled from water with hooks and nets, and some that literally say in French, "Nous sommes à vendre," we are for sale. These aren't art projects, these aren't cute jokes.
Jerry Seinfeld says that his father was an incubator baby. Y'all can look that up. So Jerry Seinfeld is one of these NPCs that's walking around here because his father was one. Just think of how many there are. This video needs 1,000 likes. This needs to be my biggest video. This literally needs to be my biggest video because this information, the way he just put together this information, it's without a shadow of a doubt that this is what's going on, y'all. This man was running an AI baby farm.
There are thousands of these across Europe and America, and they depict a production line, a repopulation operation. The woman in the red is their handler. The men in the top hats pay for them. Familiar, right? This is the real history behind the Cabbage Patch Kids, and it's even in their lore. A story about babies being grown in a garden, delivered by a stork in uniform, while an evil witch tries to enslave them for labor. Nobody really ever questioned where that story came from.
Yeah.
In 1881, a French doctor attached to a foundling hospital built the first baby incubator. He modeled it on a chicken hatchery. Within a decade, baby incubators filled with live premature infants were exhibited at world's fairs across Europe and America. The medical journal that covered it wrote, quote, "It is just as essential in raising men and women as it is raising any kind of stock," end quote. And in 1896, at the same Paris World Fair that showcased those incubators, the first narrative film ever made premiered, Le Fée aux Choux, the Fairy of the Cabbages, a woman pulling babies from a cabbage patch and handing them to couples who pay a farmer. The first movie ever made was about selling babies, and it was created to promote the incubators. Then came the trains. Between 1854 and 1929, over 200,000 children were loaded onto orphan trains and shipped from East Coast cities to the Midwest and West. 72% of them had at least one living parent. They weren't orphans, they were taken. Their names were changed, their records destroyed. They were displayed at train stations and then chosen by families. And then we're just told to forget everything about where they come from. So to put that together, foundling hospitals funded by elite with fertility goddesses on their seals, a secret fraternity running the orphanages, thousands of postcards advertising babies for sale, incubators modeled on chicken hatcheries at world fairs, the first movie ever made is about producing and selling babies, and 200,000 children were shipped across the continent with their identities erased? Now look at what I just showed you in these documents. Shell companies declaring DNA analysis, CRISPR gene editing, fertility doctors, egg harvesting, AI processing, forced pregnancies, babies taken, women trafficked through international pipelines and brought to genetics meetings, and $167 million routed through one man's shell company to a Rothschild bank? The same banking dynasty that's been at the center of European finance since the foundling hospitals were built. The same operation, different century. The only thing that changed is the technology. Okay, so I showed you what I found, but that was just from 44,000 documents in the database that I was using.
And it's millions.
There are 3.5 million pages in the full DOJ release. What I showed you today is just what one person found in 1 week. There's so much more, and there are a lot of open threads. Nobody on YouTube has gone through the documents like this.
No.
Tucker said that nobody has gone into the genetics methodically. I just did.
Yeah, you did.
And this is just the surface. Part 2 goes even deeper.
Oh, man.
This whole thing is way older than Jeffrey Epstein. Alright guys, make sure you subscribe if you want to see what I find next. And if you find a document that
make sure you guys go and subscribe to this channel. The name of this channel is Mind Unveiled. That was some fine, thorough research. I applaud you. I thank you. Because which one of y'all gonna watch this video and say, come on, y'all fishing still? Don't do it. Don't do it. I pray y'all get the seriousness behind why this needs to be known and why something has to be done. This was a lot. This stuff been weighing heavy on my heart, as it should all of us, because this is what's going on with our money, while we watching TV, and this is what's going on. You guys let me know down in the comment section what you guys think it is. You think it's a load of crock still? Is it affecting you like it is me? Because we have to do something. If you guys like this video, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell so that you're notified whenever I do drop a video here. We're on the road to 500 subscribers, and I pray with this video, I hope we get past that, because this video needs to be seen by the world. Even if you're not seeing it from me, go to his channel and watch it, share it as far as the eye can see, because this needs to go out. But that's gonna do it for me. King Marcel out. Peace.
I am looking for the prize. That's eternal life. Bringing the things in my mind. Talking real peace of mind.